Last week, we talked about how Jim Caviezel is no longer reprising his role in the new Resurrection of Christ movie, which is going to be quite interesting. What's going to come from Mel Gibson, of course, in 2027. He's doing two different movies, kind of a part one and a part two of Resurrection of the Christ. Now, we had an announcement earlier this week of the new actor that is actually taking his place. So let's look at it for a second. Hey, real quick, if you want to support more content like you're seeing here on the channel, I would love for you to support us over on Patreon at snipesupport.com. This is by far the best way to help us to continue doing this type of content and allowing this to be my full-time job, which I'm so appreciative of. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and liking. If that's all you do, great. But if you've ever thought about supporting us further, snipesupport.com is the best way to do that at our Patreon, where you can pledge $5, $10, or $25 a month, and it really helps us to create sustainable content over time, so we can keep on putting out as much content as we're doing right now. We'd love your help over there. And yeah, let's get back to this video. Here is Mel Gibson's Resurrection of the Christ finds a new Jesus and Mary Magdalene in Jaco Otonin and Mariela Garriga. Reveals main cast here. So here is Jaco and Maria. I'm not sure. That's kind of how you show it there. I'll actually make this come out a little bit here. Go there. Perfect. I'm a YouTuber. Okay. Here we've got Mel Gibson's The Resurrection of the Christ. His long delayed follow-up to the 2004's Passion of the Christ has cast Finnish actor Jaco Otonin, The Last Kingdom, in the role of Jesus, replacing the original star Jim Caviezel. So we're replacing Jim Caviezel. Do you guys want to see your first image of this guy, Jaco, on set? Watch out for this jump scare right here. This is the guy we're replacing Jim Caviezel with, by the way. Oh gosh. We're gonna read the rest of that article in a second, but it does not go unnoticed the vast difference we see between this frame right here and Jesus about to be resurrected, and let alone, we don't have to talk about the fact that it's another blonde-haired, blue-eyed type Jesus here, who definitely is not Middle Eastern in any way. At least Jonathan Rumi is like part Egyptian, you know what I'm saying? This one to me is an interesting choice. Let me say that. Now let me say this, okay? I am sure there are many images online of the chosen cast doing exactly this, okay? I do not agree with probably 95% of the chosen cast's views, okay? I won't go into it, but for example, there's a particular parade that they were probably all at yesterday, right? It's their own views. It's their own life. They have their own ways of thinking, political, morally, whatever else. It's their own life, right? However, when you're casting Jesus, I don't know. Maybe there should be a piece of that is connected faith-wise. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's just an actor and it's just a job and he's going to do whatever he's going to do. But it just makes me laugh, man. Okay, let's read the rest of this article. So they cast Finnish actor Jaco Otonin from The Last Kingdom in the role of Jesus, replacing the original star Jim Caviezel. Shooting started last week at Rome's Cinecittà Studios on the film, with its main ensemble having been entirely recast. Of course, it was over 20 years ago, right? More than 20 years ago, Gibson shot the original Passion of the Christ at Cinecittà, which became one of the largest grossing independent films of all time, with a worldwide box office of $610 million. As previously announced, The Resurrection of the Christ will split into two films, with each part set to release in 2027, 40 days apart from each other, which is pretty incredible. Mary Magdalene's role, a role held in Passion by Monica Bellucci, is being played in Resurrection by a Cuban actress, Mariela Garriga, who starred in the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning films as Marie. Polish-born actor Kasia Smutniak from Domina, is replacing Maya Morgenstern as Mary. This is Mother Mary there. Peter is being played by Italy's Pierluigi Pacino, who stars in the Netflix Italy original, The Law According to Lydia Poet. And the Pontius Pilate role will be played by Italy's Riccardo Scamarcio. We nailed it. Who recently led the Johnny Depp directed biopic Modi. Rupert Everett will appear in an unspecified, small but important role. Because of the time frame in which the resurrection of Christ takes place, 3 days after Christ's crucifixion on Good Friday, it made sense to recast the whole film, a source close to the production told Variety. They would have had to do all this CGI stuff and all this digital stuff, de-aging and all that. That would have been very costly, the source noted. And in April, the 57-year-old Caviezel had suggested on the Ariana Grande podcast that he was ready to reprise his career-defining role of Jesus in the follow-up. So he was ready to do this role, as we talked about in our previous video. However, obviously that's not happening. Otonen, who is 36, is presently best known for his role as the Dane warrior Woland in the 5th season of Netflix's historical epic, The Last Kingdom. The Resurrection of the Christ is being produced by Gibson, Bruce Davey, and their Icon Productions banner, with Lionsgate as the studio partner. The original film, which is spoken in Aramaic, Hebrew, and Latin to create a more historically accurate and immersive experience, followed the final 12 hours of the crucifixion of Christ. Gibson has described the sequels as an acid trip, adding that he never read anything. Okay. I can't. That he never read anything like this. The scripts, which the filmmaker wrote alongside Braveheart screenwriter Randall Wallace, as the title suggests, the plot is expected to focus on Jesus Christ's resurrection. Other stories details are being kept under wraps. Part 1 is ready, slated for March 26, 2027, which is almost the exact same time frame as the Chosen's movie that's coming out for the crucifixion. Part 2 is set for 40 days later, which is on Ascension Day. And so that's when that will happen there, May 6th. And Lionsgate will release those films. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Of course, they're going to use the same places they used before. So besides Cenicienta, they're also going to use Matera, which if you're a fan of The Chosen, you'll know that name. Matera is one of the oldest cities in the world, and it's where The Chosen shot for season 6 as well. So these films are probably going to look somewhat similar using that same location. All right. Let's look at Jocko Otonen. This is some of the stuff he's done in the past. Like we talked about, he's known for All the Sins, The Unknown Soldier, Vikings Valhalla, and this one, which I think is a Finnish movie right here from 2013. So he's been kind of in a lot of these different things over time. You can kind of see a lot of the stuff he's been in. Looks like he's been in a lot of Finnish movies, possibly. I can't read that language, so I don't know where they're from, but a bunch of stuff there. And you can kind of see some of the background there. So interesting. I don't know, man. I think it's hard for me because I understand that you want the best actor for the job, but I don't know, man. I don't know how people are going to react to this news and how they're going to react to this new actor. So yeah, you let me know. Is this a good move? Is this a bad move? Should they have kept Jim Caviezel? If not for his age, maybe for his reverence for the role. I don't know. It's hard. I couldn't imagine The Chosen without someone who at least respected, I don't agree with Jonathan Rumi about everything. In fact, there's a lot of things probably that we would disagree upon. However, I do think that he has a reverence and a respect for Jesus in the role, right? Clearly. And I think that he does have a relationship with Jesus, which I think really, really helps The Chosen. This is pretty difficult, I think, to do this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the resurrection of the Christ. I don't know. This is maybe the continuation of red flags that we're seeing, but who knows? Who knows what will happen? And we'll continue to keep an eye on it as the news breaks here. And of course, we'll sleuth out anything that we can. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. And of course, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.